So moving to RT Auto Trade Scanner. Okay. So RT Auto Trade Scanner is again one, a very, very premium feature that we have to offer. It is one of our, signature features, I would call it, are the RT Auto Trade Scanner. We have seen n number of software till date, but honestly speaking, we haven't come across anything like this. I hope you will all agree to what I say. So the first thing that you do when you go to RT Auto Trade Scanner is that you create a profile. So you go to the manage profile tab here, which is here. In the mobile, it is more or less the same, but these tabs you will find at the bottom of the screen. Okay, here you are finding the tab at the top of the screen. In your mobile, on your mobile screen, you will find these tabs at the bottom of your screen. So the first thing that you have to do is you have to create your profile. So you have to go to manage profile. You go to manage profile. I already have a profile. So what I'll do is I'll create another profile. So what you do is you can call yourself whatever you, so, Amitabh Bachchan email ID, whatever you want to, whatever your email ID would be, and your phone number, and you can then go ahead and you can select your type. So there are three types: intraday, carryover, or both. Okay. So what happens is that if you wish to the intraday trading is basically what happens is you initiate the trade whenever during the day the trade gets executed, or whenever the trade comes up for execution, you execute the trade and you square off the trade on that day itself. That is the essence of intraday trading. Okay. So intraday traders are traders who do not wish to carry their risk to the next day, because anything can happen tomorrow. That the one issue with the Indian stock markets is that the stock markets are open for a shorter period of time and they're closed for a longer period of time. So what happens is there are events that happen during the when it is night time in India. That time it is daytime in the US and in Europe, other parts of the world. So what happens is there are events that happen that may impact the opening on the next day of the stock markets. So there are many people who prefer intraday trading. So all the people who prefer intraday trading, they have to select intraday as their option. Now again, what I said is intraday trading is primarily you open the trade and you close the trade, or you square off the trade on the same day itself. So if you have bought something, you sell on the same day. If you have short sold something, you buy back on the next day. And intraday is, of course, there are people who trade cash stocks intraday. They buy and sell on the same day. But intraday is more designed to suit the derivatives trader, the futures trader, whether it is stocks, commodities, or forex. In Shastra, intraday basically means 5 minutes, 15 minutes, and 25 minutes charge. Again, what is 5 minutes, 15 minutes, and 25 minutes is 5 minutes and 5-minute chart is basically a chart that is plotted on a 5-minute candle or a 5-minute bar. So every candle is 5 minutes. So after every 5 minutes, there is one new candle or one new bar is formed. On a 15-minute chart, after every 15 minutes, a new candle or new bar is formed. In 25-minute charts, a new candle or a new bar is found every 25 minutes. So if you want to see a 5-minute chart, whatever from 9:15 to 3:30 in the afternoon, the number of hours, you divide them by 5 minutes, and those number of candles will appear in your chart for that particular day. Similarly, with 15 minutes, you divide those hours, whatever 6 and odd hours that the market is open, and you divide it by 15, and those are the number of candles that you have. So 5 minutes, 15 minutes, and so if you choose intraday as your option, then you will most likely get 5 minutes, 15 minutes, and 25 minutes straight. Again, I repeat, for the to make it absolutely clear to everyone, that if you are choosing intraday as your option, if you're whether you're trading a 5-minute chart, whether you're trading a 15-minute chart, whether you're trading a 25-minute chart, you are not supposed to carry over the trade to the next day. You may do it if you want, that's another thing, it's your choice, but you are not supposed to. That is basically what you're telling here. That is basically your objective. But if your objective is to carry over, then your best option is to select carryover option here. So the carryover option, if you select the carryover option, you will get 75 minutes and 25 minutes. Again, The same thing I would tell you. The again, what is 17 minutes and 25 minutes is 75 minutes and 125 minutes. 75 minutes every 75 minutes a new candle is formed. Every 125 minutes a new candle is formed. Okay, so that is carryover trade. What do you mean by carryover trade? That you open a trade, but you are not expecting to close that trade on the same day. So you expect that trade because you are looking for big profits. Okay, you are allowing the stock some time to move, because the stock, if it is a trending stock, whether up or down, it will need some time to move. So you are giving it time to move, and at the same time you are willing to carry the risk of carrying over the trade. So if you are trading 75-minute or 125-minute, you are actually looking to square off your trade probably the next day or the day after. We have seen trades last as long as 14 days, 12, 14 days, so 2 weeks. So if you're carrying over, you can carry over your trade to, or you can choose both if you are interested in doing intraday as well as carry over. But again, you have to ensure that you don't get confused and you don't mix intraday trading and carry over trade. If you are choosing both as an option, you have to be extremely careful about what you do, because you will get nifty, bank nifty 5-minute trades, 15-minute trades. You will get 25-minute stocks. You will get stocks in 75 minutes. You will get stocks in 125 minutes. So you will get all these options, and there will be so many that at times that it will be very difficult for you to manage. So I'm sorry to say, I don't intend to sound insulting, but at times I see that people become very greedy and they want a lot of trades coming in. See, a software, basically we have seen a software, people think that once I have this tool, then I can just go out in the market and I can do anything, because now I am equipped with the tool and I can just, it is like somebody gives you a machine gun, and you feel so powerful that now you can just go out and take on anybody that you want. But you don't know that outside there are thousands of people with machine guns outside waiting for you to come out. Okay, so if you have that machine gun in hand, it's not that you just go out and start shooting indiscriminately. Similarly, here, just because you have a tool which is powerful does not mean that you just go out and you trade indiscriminately whatever comes your way. You have to be very, very specific about what you want to do. Okay, so because this is worth emphasizing, because now we have reduced your time to your analysis time to near zero. You need no time to do the analysis, because the machine is doing the analysis for you. You are supposed to execute. So what people find is they find a lot of time at hand to execute trades. So people feel, now that I have time to execute trades, why should not I make the most of it and I execute more trades? So people get greedy, or probably they get compulsive into their trading, and they are looking for a lot of things. So people choose both as an option. So they get intraday options, they get carryover options. Some people, I know all this because we keep talking to people, and ultimately when we counsel them, we understand that they have been over trading, they have been overexcited in doing things. So you have to be very careful about what you do here. If you have a problem in identifying what kind of trading you're supposed to do, you can get in touch with any of the mentors. You can ask in an AMA question, and we would be more than glad to help. Okay, so let's say you choose intraday trading, and let's say you choose NSE futures as your market. So these are the four markets that you choose. You can choose from NSE futures, MCX futures, NCDX futures, and NSE currency. So let's assume you choose NSE futures as your market. I will just enter these details. Or maybe I can create an account in my name only. I can choose another type, and so you enter these details. You select whatever type of trading you want to trade. So I select carry over here, which means I will get 75 minutes and 125 minutes trade, which I'm supposed to carry over. Of course, if the stop loss occurs during the day itself and I'm out, that's a different thing altogether. But if the stop loss does not occur, in that event, I'm supposed to carry over that trade, because that is my whole objective. My objective is to allow the stock to move, and that is why I'm giving it more time, and that is why I'm selecting carry over. Risk amount, now risk amount, like we have discussed earlier also, that whatever your capital, you have to divide it by 20, and that should be your risk amount. But that is not the risk amount that you can enter here, because in that event you will not get a lot of trades. You will there are a lot of trades which will bypass you. So the minimum risk amount that you have to put is 1 lakh rupees. We have found that that the optimum risk amount, minimum optimum risk amount is 1 lakh rupees. You can put 2 lakh rupees if you want, but remember one thing, that when it comes to actual money management, actual risk management, you have to understand that you have to divide your capital by 20, and that capital you have to further divide into the number of positions that you're selecting here. So number of positions. So let us assume we'll keep it at 1 lakh. Okay, we'll keep it at 1 lakh and positions 4. So once this is done, you save the portfolio. So now what does this mean? Basically, what this means is that you have selected carryover as your preferred trading time. You have selected 1 lakh rupees as your risk amount. So 1 lakh rupees is your risk amount. So ideally, in this case, your total capital should be 20 lakh rupees. But if your total capital is not 20 lakh rupees, let's say it is 2 lakh rupees, then you should understand that this risk amount is 10 times of your risk amount. So you have to, if the system recommends 10 lots of Nifty, then you're supposed to buy 1 lot of Nifty. Okay, that is something that you have to remember, or for that matter, a stop. There may come a time when it may recommend you 15 lots. So you have to manage it in such a manner that you have to understand that what your actual risk is and what you have put here. But if you put anything less than 1 lakh rupees, then there are a lot of trades that will not come your way. That is why we recommend putting 1 lakh rupees as your risk amount. And positions 4, because you want to divide your position into 4. So let us assume, for the for the sake of simplicity, that my capital here is indeed 20 lakh rupees, and for 20 lakh rupees I have put my risk amount as 1 lakh rupees, and I have entered 4 positions. So what happens is, when tomorrow I get 4 stocks to trade, my 1 lakh rupees risk will also be divided into those 4 stocks. So in my each individual stock or script or position, my risk would be, say, 22,000, 23,000, 25,000, 25,500, near about 25,000 rupees. So it will recommend the quantity depending upon what my input here is. Okay. So if I further want to divide it, maybe I can make it 6. So it will further divide my risk position. But then there may be times I will not get 6 trades to enter, and I may end up doing 3 trades, 4 trades. My risk will be further mitigated, but then I will not get I'll have to buy lesser quantity of whatever I buy. I can even make it 8. Okay. So ideally, anything between 4 to 8 is good. Anything less than 4 is not advisable. Anything more than 8 becomes too difficult to manage. So you can put anything between 4 to 8. Again, for the sake of simplicity, I'm putting 4 here, and I save my portfolio. So once this portfolio, okay, it says portfolio exists with the same name. So I will just change the name here. Okay. This portfolio also exists. Okay. So this is saved. So it has saved my preferences. So now in this portfolio, that is Tasneem Burhani, from tomorrow, what I will start getting suggested stocks here, that for 1 lakh risk and 4 positions for carryover trades, 75 minutes and 25 minutes trades, I will start getting here. So on this suggested stock tab, I will get those tiles here where I will be able to see the stocks. And the tile gives you all the information that you need to trade that particular script, whether it is a long, whether it is short, whether at what price you're supposed to buy. So I'll just give you an example of how it works. So what I'll need to do is, I'll need to stop presenting here, and I will need to present my screen. Okay. So what happens is, this is what happens. you. So this is a mixed portfolio. So that is why you are getting 5 minutes. That is why you're getting 125 minutes. So like I told you, when you select both intraday plus carryover, so this is a carryover trade, 125 minutes. This is an intraday trade, 5-minute Nifty. Okay. Now, for a lot of people have a question, that intraday, what are we supposed to do? At what point of time are we supposed to exit? Now, again, through experience, I have been trading intraday since May last year actively. And what we have seen is the best strategy to adopt is, see, you have already put a stop loss. The stop loss is already there. Okay. Now, again, for people who are wondering what is the stop loss, I'll tell you. When you see this tab, you will see NSE future long. Now, NSE future long means you are supposed to buy. Now, in futures trading, derivatives trading, I hope you all know what is long and what is short. Okay, short is short selling. You first sell, then you buy. Long is you buy first and then you sell. Okay, so you can see here there is a tab NSE futures long, and in NSE futures long, this 125-minute is the time frame. So 125-minute is the carryover. Okay, so if you select both, then you will always be confused that which is the carryover trade and which is the intraday trade. Okay, unless and until you become a pro at this. Okay, if you become a pro, it is a good thing. You would be more than happy. But if you are not, then you should choose either intraday or carryover. And if you indeed want to do both, then what we would advise is you create 2 different portfolios in 2 different names, one for intraday and one for carryover. So if you see here, it shows you the time frame, 125 minutes. It gives you the script, lot size, quantity. So this 3 is the number of the quantity that it has it has suggested depending upon the risk that you have specified in your profile. So as per the risk that you have specified, it is suggesting this quantity. Current market price. Now, current market price is, what is current market price? There is some confusion here which I want to clear. Current market price is the price at the time this trade was generated. Now, while you are seeing this style, these prices are no longer live. So these are not live prices. So the current market price is the price that was prevailing at the time this trade was generated. So if you see current market price 685.30, maybe when you're looking at this, the current market price may be 684, it may be 687, it may be 688. You have to actually have a look at your trading platform or whatever you use for your live prices to understand what is the price that is actually prevailing at that point of time. Peak. Now, if you look at NSE futures long, you will get a peak price, and if you look at NSE futures short, you will get a trough price. Now, what is this peak and this trough? So the peak is the price you are supposed to buy above this price. So if the peak is 691.6, you are actually supposed to buy above 691.6. So it can be 692. Again, a lot of people ask, how far we can go. So again, it is about managing your risk. If the peak is 691.6 and the prevailing price right now is 695. So if you see you are buying at 695 and your stop loss is 682. Okay. Now again, very important to know, 680, you are not supposed to sell at 682. You are supposed to sell slightly below 682. So whenever you see this peak and this stop loss, the price is supposed to break those barriers. So you are not supposed to buy at 691.6. You are supposed to buy anything above 691.6. It can be anything. It can be as little as 20 paise. It can be as little as 40 paise. You can buy at 692. Okay. Because why we advise not to buy at 691.6 is because 691.6 is the resistance. It has to break that resistance. It has to break that barrier. So 692 you can buy. 693 also you can buy. So if the price has moved way beyond, let's say it is now 670, 700. From 692 it has gone to 700. So the price is the prevailing price is 700. and the stop loss is 682, should you or should you not buy? A lot of time people wonder, should I or should I not? Maybe have I missed the bus? So the best thing that you can do is, say, if you have provided for 1 lakh rupees as your risk, and if you have provided for 4 positions, that means in each position you are supposed to take a risk of 25,000 rupees. So if your risk is still manageable, if your risk is still around 25, it can be 500 rupees, 1,000 rupees above your specified risk. It can be 25,500, it can be 26,000, not a problem, but it cannot go beyond that. If still your risk, you are able to manage the risk by buying at 700, but that does not mean that you move your stop loss to 692 because you're buying or 690, because you're buying 8 rupees, you're paying 8 rupees extra at the time of buying. You move your stop loss at 690 because 690 is not the support. You have to give some space for the stock to move. So if the stock has to move and you move your stop loss, then it is that stop loss does not have any meaning. This 682 is a technically assigned stop loss. Okay, you have to understand the difference between placing a manual stop loss and a technically assigned stop loss. So this 682 is a technically assigned stop loss. There is certain price movement because of which this support has come in. That support has become the stop loss. So you have to maintain 682 as your stop loss. Again, I repeat, you are not supposed to sell at 682. You are supposed to sell a little below 682 the moment it breaks 682. Again, it can be as little as 50 paise, 681.5, not a problem. So you have to manage your risk that way. Okay. So whenever you are managing your risk, understand that there will be some upside to what you buy, and there will be some downside whenever you sell. So you have to you have to provide for that. So if your actual risk should be 90,000 rupees for your presumed risk should be 90,000 rupees, for your actual risk to be around 95, 96, 98, whatever. Okay, because there will always be some difference between what you at the price you actually intend to buy and the price that you actually end up buying at. So there is always that that price variation is always there. So I hope you understand what is this peak. For as far as the trough is concerned, so here what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to short sell. Okay, so when you're buying, obviously your stop loss will be below your buy price. Okay, because you're expecting the price to move up. If the price starts moving down, that means it is moving in the opposite direction and you're selling. Vice versa, when you're short selling, you're expecting the price to move down. If your price moves up, then it is moving in the opposite direction. So your stop loss will be higher than your trough. Okay. So the trough, let's assume, is 1383.45. So you can short sell at 1383, no problem. 1383, 1382, 1382.5, you can short sell. Your stop loss is 1388.7. Now, what does this mean? If the price after breaking the trough, it does not move in the desired direction and it starts moving in the opposite direction, it starts moving up. So when it starts moving up, your stop loss is 1388.7. Again, I repeat, you are not supposed to sell at 1388.7. You are supposed to sell slightly above 1388.7. Okay. So here you are supposed to sell below the stop loss, and here you are supposed to buy back just above the stop loss. While buying, the trough will be your the trough will be your stop loss. While short selling, the peak will be your stop loss. You are supposed to, just like here, when you are buying, just when it breaks peak. Similarly, here you are supposed to buy just when it breaks peak. Okay, I hope it is clear to people what is peak, what is trough, what happens when you buy, and what happens when you short sell. If there is any confusion, please note down your queries, and you can put them in AMA, and probably I will try to cover this when we are discussing charts tomorrow. So on chart we will exactly the points at which you are supposed to buy, and exactly the point at which you are supposed to short sell. So while we were discussing intraday, when a lot of people have this query that at what point of time you're supposed to square off. So when you put a stop loss, your risk is already factored in. You have already factored in your risk. So as long as your stop loss does not hit, the best strategy is to wait for the end of the day. So anywhere between 325 to 330, just 2-3 minutes before the market closes, you are supposed to square off your position. There are times when you will be making money during the day. So if you say around 2 o'clock you are making money, 3:30 you come to know, oh, you have lost that money that you were making. It happens all the time. Similarly, there may be times when you are, you feel like taking some money and getting out. Maybe 20,000 rupees profit in your trade. You think of getting out, and at the end of the day, you realize that if you would not have squared off, probably you would have made 50,000-60,000 rupees profit in that. So it works both ways. So if there are times when the trade goes against you, when you wait for the end of the day, then you start thinking then this is a wrong strategy. It is a wrong way of thinking. That is not the way to think, because the reverse will also happen. So all these things happen when you follow a strategy. When you follow a strategy to square off your position only at the end of the day, then you should follow that strategy. There are some times when the result would be unfavorable, and there are times the result would be more than favorable. So it works both ways, right? So again, this is just another snapshot of how the trades are generated. So here you can see NSE futures long. Here you can see MCX futures long. Okay, 5-minute silver, 5-minute silver 2. Then there are these two are silver. So maybe one is silver mini, or one is, yeah. So there is one is silver mini and one is silver. And here, if you can see at the bottom, there is NSE currency short. So 15-minute trades in NSE currency short. So this is the way the trades are generated. This is what the RT Auto Trade Scanner does. It works real time behind the scenes like an engine to do this scanning, this kind of scanning that the Shasva Star Scanner does. So it runs all these complex algorithms, and when the trade is just favorable, it will just pop out here. A lot of times it so happens that you see a trade and after a few minutes it disappears. Why does this happen? It is because whenever let's assume that this 15 minutes Nifty trade, and the peak is 9963, and you are supposed to buy just above, because it is a long trade, you are supposed to buy just above the peak 9964, and the SL is 9923. Now Nifty being Nifty, it is so dynamic that sometimes it moves 50 points within a matter of minutes. So this trade is generated, and you see that what happens is that the stop loss is 9923, but Nifty is already trading at 9910. So you understand that this trade is no longer valid. Or if the peak is 9963, Nifty is already trading at 10,100. So this trade is no longer valid. Okay, a lot of people think, and we get a lot of queries, that trades are generated late. Trades are not generated late. The market is so dynamic that by the time you see this, see, that is why we always say that in the current times, when there is so little time to execute the trades, where is the time to do the analysis? That is why we always keep saying that the time for analysis is over. Now here you have a machine doing the analysis. Still, it is so difficult to execute the trade on time. Right? So that is why we keep harping and we keep saying that the time for analysis is over. The time you consume doing the analysis, the stock, it has flown, it has gone somewhere that you can't make a head or tail of it. So here even the execution becomes a problem. So you can understand how critical and how important this is. So whenever a trade appears and after a few minutes it is gone, don't bother. It is not an anomaly, or it is not a it is not a glitch. It is actually because the trade is no longer valid. A valid question comes from a lot of members, that what if we have already entered the trade? If you have entered the trade, you have no choice but to strictly follow the stop loss. That is all you can do, my friends, is strictly follow the stop loss, and that's it. If your stop loss is not hit, you should be happy. If it's an intraday trade, wait for the end of the day, or whatever strategy you choose. There are people who choose a strategy of 1:1 risk to reward ratio. So if let's say your risk in one trade is 25,000 rupees, and if you see 25,000 rupees coming, you take that profit. So there are different people who we are working on the on the exit strategies, updating the exits on the RT Auto Trade Scanner itself. So you will just have to be a bit patient. Probably in a couple of months that will also come. So you will not have to rack your brains to even think where to take your profit and where to get out. That also the system will tell you. Okay, the engine is ready. We just need to mount the engine on the software. That's all that is left. For people who are doing carryover trading, for them the predicament is what time to get out. So if you are buying, it is very simple. If you are a carryover trader, you don't need to sweat. The only thing you need to do is you need to follow the trough. Okay. Again, when we discuss charts tomorrow, I'll make it a point to show you exactly what is the trough and what do you mean by your trough moving up and your stop loss updating. So you just need to update your stop loss as your trough starts moving up. Your support starts moving up. Your support moves up. You move your stop loss to that level. Your support moves further up. You move your. There are times when I've told you the trade has lasted for 14 days, 15 days. During those times, the trough gets updated. Maybe in the 15 days, the trough gets updated 4 times. So 4 times you are moving your stop loss up, 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 up. And once your trade is risk-free, you need not worry. Then just follow the trough. Don't worry about the profit. Sometimes you will get profit that you wouldn't have even imagined. So if you want to follow the stock, just you can click on the tab on your mobile phone and you can move it to order book. Once it moves to the order book, so if you can see here, this is a snapshot from a mobile phone. Okay, like I told you, in the mobile phone, in the mobile phone, the suggested stocks, the order book, the profit and loss, and the manage profile tabs will be at the bottom of the screen. Unlike in the web version where it is at the top. So here you can see they are at the bottom of the screen. And here, if you see, this is also a snapshot. So the stock has moved to the order book. So here you can just follow the stock and you can see what is happening with your stock. So you can see here Balkrishna Industries 75-minute carryover trade. The entry date is 18th of June 2020, and entry price is 1207, and the current market price is 1275. Okay, this is at what point of time whenever it is. So you can see here the lot size and Hindustan Unilever, again 75-minute interval, entry price. This is the current market price. So this will give you an idea of where you are standing, and like this, you will know mark to market where you stand. That in Balkrishna Industries 83,200 is the profit, and in Hindustan Unilever 93,360 is the profit. You can see the quantity here. Balkrishna Industries 2 lots, Hindustan Unilever 4 lots. So this is what happens. This is exactly what happens when you do carryover trading. You can see these kind of profits trading 2 lots, 4 lots. These kind of profits you can see. Balkrishna Industries eventually ended up giving a lot of money. I think it was humongous profit that it gave. So if you are patient, if you don't want to run with the profits, then the profits will eventually come. And these profits generally, they're capable of taking care of those 8 to 10 stop losses that you have taken or you will take along the way. So again, like I said, it works both ways. You can take 25,000 rupees and you can run with the profits. But then again, when you lose, you are also losing 25,000 rupees. So you are, you are square. So you are not going anywhere.